Hey guys, it's me. Number 10, The Strange Bunker. In 1984, a boy was out exploring the woods near his home when he came across something strange in the trees. He pushed some branches aside and found an iron door hidden in the trunk of a tree. The door had 3 locks on it and no apparent way of opening it. At first, he thought it was just a weird storage space, maybe for hunting equipment or something. But then he started wondering about how such a large metal door could be placed so high up in a tree. There was no obvious way to climb up there. What was this place? Who put the door in the tree and why? When he finally got back to that spot a few days later with some friends, they found that the door was open. Inside was a concrete bunker with a table, chairs, and even some sleeping quarters. Someone had clearly been living in here. As the boys looked around, they noticed what appeared to be a control panel, a radio, some maps, and a book. The radio was still powered on, and the volume was turned all the way up. It was tuned to a frequency that didn't have any music or chatter, just static. They sat down on the chairs and noticed that one of them had a strange symbol on the armrest. That same symbol was carved into the wall next to the door. It was also painted on the outside of the door. As they were sitting there, one of the boys picked up the book. He opened it and found some disturbing things inside. The book was filled with writings that detailed apocalyptic scenarios, including nuclear attacks, economic collapses, and political upheaval. The pages were filled with strange symbols and diagrams that made no sense to the boys. They also found documents inside that seemed to detail strange experiments that were being conducted at the time. One of the pages mentioned Project Sunshine. They had no idea what that meant. All they knew was that the bunker must have been used by someone who believed the world was going to end. Maybe it was a survivalist or doomsday prophet of some kind. Whatever the case, they didn't stick around to find out. They ran away as fast as they could from that place. The local police were notified and they sent officers to investigate. By the time the police arrived, the bunker was empty and the door was locked. They had to cut through the iron door to get inside and found that it was completely bare. Everything that the boys had seen was gone. Even the weird chair and the table were missing. As far as the police are concerned, the whole thing was a hoax. The boys were making the whole story up for attention. To this very day, the bunker remains empty.
And the police can't figure out where all the stuff went or who was living inside?
No. 9. The Mysterious Room in Croatia. A man named Ivan Gordon bought a house near Zagreb in Croatia. When he went to check out the property after purchasing it, he noticed a strange round room in the basement. It was like a dome. He had no idea what it was doing down there. Ivan had always been interested in mysterious things. He loved ghost stories, UFOs, and anything else that had to do with the paranormal. So, he immediately began investigating. He brought in some friends, and together, they explored every inch of the room. They found a couple of old pipes in the corner, but no explanation for what the room actually was. All they found was a small hole in the floor that led outside. It looked like someone had dug a hole and then covered it up. After searching the entire area around the house, they found where the tunnel had led. It had gone right to the neighbor's house. But this was a very strange development. The hole had been filled in years ago. Nobody had been digging tunnels under people's houses in that neighborhood. After consulting with some experts, they discovered that the room was likely part of a much larger underground network. This wasn't a simple hole dug by a bored teenager. It was some sort of secret passageway. But why? The locals had no idea. They had lived there for decades and had never heard of any underground tunnels or bunkers. There was nothing like that ever built in the area. Ivan and his friends decided to keep the mystery alive. They turned the room into a museum dedicated to all things paranormal. People come from all over Croatia to visit the strange underground room. Nobody knows what it was used for, but many believe it was once part of a spy ring. No. 8. The abandoned Nazi bunker. A woman from Hungary named Agnes Balog was looking through some old family photos when she came across a picture of her father. She was only 3 years old at the time and had no memory of that day. In the picture, her dad was standing next to a large group of other men dressed in Nazi military uniforms. But there was something weird about the picture. Her dad was wearing a military uniform too, but he wasn't supposed to be in the military. She asked her mother about it and learned that her father had been a member of the Arrow Cross Party. This was a fascist political party in Hungary. During World War II, they followed the Nazi ideology and had their own private military force. Agnes's dad had been a part of that military force. After the war ended, he went into hiding. Agnes had no idea where her father had gone or what he had been up to. All she knew was that he had abandoned the family. He wanted nothing to do with them. That was until 2016 when Agnes decided to search for her father's whereabouts. She tracked him down to an abandoned Nazi bunker in Slovakia. She visited the bunker and found her father's name carved into the wall. He had died there in 1989. It had been a secret hiding place for him for decades. He had spent the majority of his life hiding from the government. Agnes had no idea why he did that. Perhaps he really believed in the Nazi cause and didn't want to spend the rest of his life in prison. Or maybe he was just a coward. Number 7. The Secret Bunker in Australia. In 1961, a man named John worked as an electrician in Melbourne, Australia. He was hired to fix some problems with the electrical system at the local hospital. While he was crawling through the hospital's basement, he found a secret door. The door was concealed behind some boxes and was designed to look like a wall. When he opened the door, it led to a dark hallway. Curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to explore. He walked through the hallway and into a large room. He flipped on the light switch and saw that the room was full of strange machinery and computers. It was clear that nobody had been here in a long time. All of the equipment was covered in dust, but what really caught his eye was a big black briefcase. It looked like something important had once been kept inside. He reported his discovery to the hospital staff, and they searched the building for records of the room. They couldn't find anything. The hospital was built in the 1920s and had undergone several renovations since then. But no one could remember a secret room in the basement. Even the oldest janitor had no idea the room even existed. As far as we know, the room is still there. No one has any idea what it was used for or why it was kept such a secret. It's possible that it was a safe room used to protect sensitive equipment. Perhaps it was a makeshift nuclear bunker in the event of an atomic attack. Whatever the reason, it was obviously top secret. And now for No. 6. But first, it's shout-out time. I want to give a big thank you to a supporter for the super thanks. And I want to give a special shout-out to these supporters for supporting this channel. If you would like to support this channel, go check out the links in the description. Number 6. The Underground City under New York. The city of New York is unlike any other place in the United States. So densely populated that the people of New York feel like they're living on top of each other. Some people like that, and others don't. What if there was a massive secret underground city underneath the bustling streets? Would you be shocked to learn that there is? There's a massive labyrinth of tunnels sitting right beneath the feet of New Yorkers. Nobody knows how big the underground city is because the tunnels keep going deeper and deeper. What we do know is that the tunnels are old. They were created in the early 1900s when New York was booming. At the time, the population of New York City was growing faster than almost any other city in history. They needed more housing. So architects came up with a plan to build homes underground. They carved out massive rooms and hallways deep beneath the surface of Manhattan. These underground homes were mostly reserved for the poor. Families lived down there without any natural light. They had to use oil lamps and candles to see. Over the years, the project was expanded. Tunnels spread out throughout Manhattan, containing thousands of families. But eventually, the project was scrapped. As the economy improved, the people of New York didn't want to live in dark, dank tunnels anymore. The government sealed off the tunnels and forgot about them. Today, we don't even know if anyone lives down there. Perhaps some homeless people are taking shelter in the tunnels, or maybe it's just a forgotten wasteland beneath the greatest city in the world. Thanks for watching. Which of these places would you love to explore for yourself? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. See you soon. Bye.